Hello, good morning and welcome to ABS Sports today. I guess you had a very lovely weekend and the whole weekend was full of sporting activities, the La Liga, the EPL, the Italian Serie A, the Bundesliga. A lot was happening in the world of football. And today we'll be giving you some of the, tips and some of the stories that happened during the weekend. And my name is still Ekweme Daniel, and today I'm in the studios with my brother and the sports analyst, Ajulo Chukwu. Welcome on board.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure being here talking sports because we eat, live, and dream sports. That's what we do day in, day out.
Yes. All right, straight to the stories we have this morning. Super Eagles ready for the two friendly matches that's coming on board. But first, our team players are all arriving in Algeria, where in Oran, and Chidozia Wazim is the first player to arrive. Yes, but today we want to look at the lists of players that our coach was able to bring on board to execute this friendly match that is on board. Yeah, we have Maduko Okoye, we have Adebayo, Adele, Frank Uzoho, we have Williams, Ekong, Kenneth Omero, Leon Balogu. Leon Balogu is injured, he's out of the game. We have Calvin Bossi, we have Kelvin Akpoguma, we have Chidozia Wazemola, Fred Ndidi, Alex Iwobi, Frank Onyeka, we have Rafael Onyedika, and we will be looking at Rafael Onyedika, who is the newest player to join the Super Eagles. We'll be looking at it. Now look at the forward. We have Moses Simon Kelechi Anacho, Samuel Chukwueze, who is injured. We are hearing that he has an injury just last Saturday. We have Tere Murphy. I don't know if he has been included. Chidere Juke, Henry Onyekuru, Ademola Lukman, Cyril Deza, and Ahmed Musa. Ahmed Musa, yes, the latest news that Ahmed Musa is injured. So we are still waiting to know who is going to replace him. And
I think this team to me looks a little bit lopsided, you understand, in the sense that it's comprising of too many attackers. I don't understand the formation this young man wants to play with. This having a depleted midfield and this influx in attack. What formation do you think Pissarro is going to be exploring come this match? What will we be doing with all of these guys play?
The whole attackers.
I really don't understand. I really don't understand. It's high time we begin to, put these coaches, subject them to giving us their game plan.
Maybe when you look at what's happening, we have a technical board.
Yes.
Or maybe all of them are just so concerned about the NFF election that is coming on board. Maybe they didn't look at it properly. Didn't look at it. Because we are just looking at it, we're only seeing four midfielders. Four midfielders. And more than battalions of attackers.
You begin to, will these guys double up as attackers?
Maybe he wants to use them in such... someone like Iheanacho.
Iheanacho cannot fit in that dual role. He can't even...
He can. Maybe I think he has his own game plan. Well, what we'll do is maybe we'll look at them and see what he has to offer. Know what he has in mind. Because having too much attackers and few midfielders becomes...
you make the attackers be starved of balls. Except maybe you have a different formation. Probably you want to play a false nine. Then you can probably...
No, definitely there must be a false nine because you can't use all these...
you can't use all these because...
All the four and all the whole strikers.
Peradventure an injury occurs in this...
And this brings us to why, we didn't see somebody like Aribo, who is consistent with his new club, Southampton. And he's a very good creative midfielder. Not just a midfielder, but a creative one. So we begin to ask, why is he not there? Irrespective that we have Iwobi, but Aribo, there are this kind of pace and Wilson Oruma kind of movement.
Presence he brings into the team. You understand?
So we begin to wonder why.
Sincerely speaking, I'm not too happy with the formation I'm seeing, as in with the lineup of this list here. To me, it doesn't. Even though this is a friendly, but every friendly should give you an iota of what the true identity of the team you are planning ahead should be. Every friendly are matches you play in order to fine-tune your team. So if you're beginning to have it wrong in the friendlies when you need to fine-tune and then better adopt a strategy in which you execute tournament, then you're having these kind of things. Then what happens when the tournament itself comes? Bearing in mind that we're not even going to World Cup, then every tournament, or rather every friendly we play should be something that should be a statement. We have long gone the era of all this kind of experiment. Let us have a team for now. That should be what this young man should be doing. I don't know if you come into a new position and then you don't take the antecedent of your predecessor to know how best you can deliver.
Because when Genero was there, he keeps
shuffling and thinking and thinking.
He keeps inventing new players. Whenever he hears this player is there, he goes. And Nigeria will have more than 3,000 players abroad that are playing. So how can all of us integrate all into Nigeria? Today we don't see Semi Wanko anymore.
Yeah.
Onuachu, we've just not seen him. Irrespective, this guy is doing well. I was thinking they extend an invitation to him, to be part of what we're doing. You don't just cap somebody 2 times and that is it.
And then you don't.
Nigeria is always good at that. You cap him only twice, you cap once, and that's it. You begin to look for fresh players. I don't think that's always good. It's not good for players. And that's why when you see some good ones like Saka, when you see them, you're calling them to come over on board, they begin to look at our antecedent and stuff. They prefer to nationalize.
Apart from even them themselves, they have their own personal managers. And their managers, knowing that there is a limbo between you and your adopted country, will definitely even advise you. Your parents are there. Even though these players are concentrating on their present club side or maybe their country of birth, not minding their country of origin, they will have advisors. So the advisors will tell them, these and these and these are what is prevalent in this area. So it is left for you to make up your decision. If you have a very strong manager that can tell you where you tend to benefit if you switch allegiance, then you probably will take the gamble. But in the case of this lopsidedness, I know maybe the NFF technical crew will know better what to do in order to address issues like this.
Okay, let's look at Maduka Okoye and the keepers. We have Maduka Okoye, we have Adeboye Adeleye, and we have Frank Uzoho. Now, let's look at how far they have fared all the while. Frank Uzoho was in the World Cup last time. Maduka was in the African Cup of Nations, where some of the blames were given to him, but I don't think it's true.
He shouldn't be.
Yes, it shouldn't be. People were blaming him, say it was not positioning well. So there's nothing like that. Somebody was meant to be in front of the player. Yes. So who do you think should man the post?
I think I prefer to go with Okoye, you understand? I think the young man, in football, you understand, you need consistency as the bedrock of the team. The goalkeeping factor is the bedrock of the team because...
And he has been injured all this while.
Yeah,
he's not been in play. And Frank Uzoho has been...
deputizing, you understand? Has been,
I don't know if I'm even talking in the club aspect. Maduka just came back from injury. Why Frank has been consistent with his club?
The fact that this guy went to the World Cup, peradventure, I think there is something Gennett Ross saw in him. There is something the technical crew saw in him. And the guy is good, but then being your first major, you definitely would expect some form of G3 and then synchronization. Okay. So if we can continue giving him that backup to continue, I'm sure he will definitely come up good in the nearest future.
Okay, let's go straight to the other story. We have Club Brugge of Belgium celebrates Onyedika call-up to Super Eagles. This is a new guy, a new sensation. This guy was brought from the Italian league, and now he's in the FC Brugge.
Yeah.
You see, and just coming to FC Brugge, he received a call-up because he has been consistent, in his team.
Yeah.
So what do you think about? And he's part of the 4 midfielders that Pesero selected to be part of it. Maybe that was why he didn't bring up Aribo, just to watch this guy and see what he has to offer in the team.
That's why I keep saying football is a lovely game, you understand? Somehow, even though it's a team event, but somehow you can see the individual talent of people whenever they play, how they harmonize their own input to the benefit of the team as a whole. And this young man, Brute, they're in the Champions League and they have won their 2 matches, you understand? And they're doing well, beating FC Porto 4-0 their last match. So with all this input this young man is bringing into the team, definitely any coach that is what is true onion will definitely know that this guy has something to offer. So for him transcending from the club down to the national team definitely will be a better opportunity for him to showcase his talent and probably see if better clubs, you understand, bigger clubs rather, will come and poach him from FC Brugge.
Okay. All right, we want to wish Onyedika, want to say welcome to Super Eagles, and I believe that you're going to give your best and become one of the superstars of Super Eagles that will make the new coach, Pesero, very, very proud and make our country proud. But just quite unfortunate that we won't be going to World Cup.
I keep saying that all the time.
It's one of the most painful things that we fans and the nation, you know, we're going to be missing these Qatar. Seriously.
You know, this World Cup even coming very close to Christmas would have been the Christmas gift before Christmas.
Exactly.
But unfortunately,
but we're not
we'll
there.
still make do with what we see there, wishing all the African teams the very best.
All right, Ahmed Musa may miss Super Eagles friendly match because of injury. Yet he played last week, and you know he has a new club for in Turkey.
In Turkey, yeah.
Yeah, it's Sivasspor, and that's where he's playing now. You know, we keep saying this guy, this is Captain Fantastic. This is one guy that played football from all the ranks.
Yeah, from grassroots to the peak.
So, you know, this guy deserves to be celebrated. He's been there from 17 to 20 21, 23, and to Super Eagles. He's been there. He's been consistent, and whenever his services is needed, you must see Ahmed Musa. And it's going to be quite unfortunate that if the story that is going by, then it means he will not be part of the friendly match because he is injured. Yes. And now he's in Europa. Sivasspor is in Europa, and that's his new club in Turkey where I think he needs this laurel before, you know, all this stuff in his CV before he leaves. Remember, he was part of Leicester City when Leicester was powering very well in the EPL. So we wish him quick recovery, and we believe maybe the injury might not be that serious.
We hope to still see him because I believe he still has a lot to give to the national team.
Yeah.
If not for regular playing time, but at least his presence in the dressing room and probably to energize the youngsters that are coming in. You understand? I'm always of the opinion that you don't throw away valuable experience in the modes of all these our veterans in the team, you understand? Because take it or leave it, they still have a role to play in trying to make the youngsters that come in, you understand?
Giving them that morale and the boost.
The boost, you understand? To make it seem that, man, this is...
And one of the things I like about Ahmed Musa is a very disciplined player.
Yeah.
You hardly
hear scandals about
scandals. You hardly see indisciplined things concerning him in the field of play. Very, very articulated
and very disciplined.
And very disciplined. Kudos to him, and we pray for, if there is any injury, we pray for a quick one so that he'll be able to, you know, be part of the friendly match. All right, out from Turkey, let's go to Everton. Everton to reward Super Eagles midfielder for a great job well done. Iwobi has been on the front page of the EPL under Everton. Since this season, he has been very, very consistent.
He has
In fact,
been.
Frank Lampard is so glad that he has Iwobi. And Iwobi has been the one controlling the midfield. And he has been delivering. His assist is there. You know, so what do you think is this change about him? Because Iwobi, we know that came down from Arsenal, first season in Everton, he was very, very inconsistent. So what do you think has affected the change?
I think in Arsenal he was trying too hard to please the fans and then the management of Arsenal. But I think maybe Lampard has come and seen that in him and said, young man, just calm down, be yourself, you understand? And there's no better thing than a coach telling a player that be yourself, you understand? You are good at what you do, but you don't need to overdo it. You're not trying to impress any person. Just be yourself and then do it. In their first match against Chelsea, even though they lost that match, the presence of Iwobi frustrated the midfield of Chelsea. If you take away the penalty that John Hughes scored, Chelsea would probably have lost that because, Everton played better and even had more shots on goal. The only thing Chelsea had on that day was just corner kicks, and that was just it. So the young man has really stamped himself. Probably you give the onus to the coach, you understand, which is Frank Lampard, to make the young man calm and then play.
Another thing is, I think he's beginning to come of age. You know, because when he was
even if you come of age and then the coach is not giving you the psyche,
like
the right mentality.
When he was in Arsenal,
yeah,
Arsenal was very, very competitive for him. There were a lot of
good
midfielders.
Yeah.
So it becomes a stress.
That is what I'm saying.
Even when the Villarreal coach was there in Arsenal, Emery,
Emery
was there, you know, trying to bring him on board in what he wants him to do. The shoe was too big for him. He was trying to adapt. But now, maybe like you rightfully say, you know, you are in a club. It's not as if much is expected. There's no too much pressure that we need to be there. So he begins to, began to
calm down, and then your true
exercise.
Game, you understand?
Yes,
reflects.
and I think that is one of the things. And whenever you call him on board in Super Eagles, he comes and he's growing, and maybe he might become his cousin brother. That's JJ Okocha. He's doing well.
Away from that.
He's coming up.
Away from that, please. He is not.
He has this attribute. No.
He's
not true.
Close to feeling the boots of his.
But he's trying. That's why I said he's trying to. He's trying to.
He will continue trying. We will wish him all the best he can to try. But filling in, that will take a while. You understand? That will take some transformation.
And that's what he's doing. He has transformed. That's why Everton has decided they're going to reward him.
No problem.
They just played the friendly match, I'm not a friendly match. They played the EPL against West Ham. He was the one that.
That was their first win of the season.
Yes, their first win of the season.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, and he was everywhere. In fact, he was almost the man of the match. And that's the beauty about it. So we want to wish him well, keep it up, keep being consistent. And the biggest story is that happened during the weekend, as on Sunday, is Nigerian-born Ethan Nwaneri becomes the youngest player in the EPL, the youngest player to play in the EPL at the age of 15 years, 181 days. This is the biggest one.
Wow.
The coach was asked, Arteta was asked, why did you bring this guy in? He said he saw God. And when he talked about the God, I remembered when we have the new coach now in Arsenal too, that's coaching 18 years, the
under 18.
The under 18. This guy have this heart to play.
Wow.
And when he was introduced, there was a lot of ovation. And,
the ovation was probably for the record he was breaking.
He's a very good guy. You saw his touches and everything. Now, it's still a plus to Nigeria.
Yeah,
because it shows we've conquered the world.
A plus to Nigeria, but if he's going to be playing for Nigeria, I prefer he goes through the age ranks and build momentum.
But now I don't think it's right for him. He's still 15. I don't think it's right for him to start giving him call-ups now.
No.
They need to allow him.
Let him go through the age.
Not even coming to Super Eagles. He needs to be allowed to play.
Okay.
Let him gain the experience properly. Because we are in a haste once we hear somebody's name. If it's General, as I saw him on Sunday.
We will expect him.
By now he would have been
in Nigeria too.
By now he would have been in Nigeria. The next flight he would have been in Oran now to play.
You would have gotten senior national team invitation right away.
Immediately. So this is the beauty of helping your child when he has this vision, when he has this talent. And now you could see a 15-year-old boy playing
in the big league, you understand, in one of the biggest leagues in the world.
You know.
You need to even actually say kudos to this Europe. That's why Europe seems to be where everything happens when it has to do with football, you understand, because they have the facilities, you understand, and people are out to play this game, you understand, be it football, basketball, whatever game, based on passion, you understand. Yes. They are not chasing, they are not running away or trying to escape poverty just to grab into sport. It is out of passion. Yeah. And then you have the facilities. So when you groom these kids from an early age, you understand? Now, if this guy were to be discovered in this part of the world, you understand, people will begin to have doubts about his age.
But the parents will not even allow him, a 50-years-old boy. What are you doing in the What are you doing in the field?
What are you doing in the field?
In the field. When you're supposed to be going to school.
You understand? So that's where we have it, where we are still lacking in this aspect of it all. If we can have a system whereby this guy, 15 years, first game in Arsenal at 15 years, 100 and something days. But definitely that wasn't the first time he laced a boot.
So
probably this guy had been...
He has been in the academy.
In academy maybe 5, 6,
since 5 years ago.
You understand? Yeah. So what do you expect when something you've been doing for over 10 years and yet you're 15 years? Then by the time you take it to the next level, 20 years, by the time you get to your peak by mid-20s, definitely you...
And that's exactly what happened to Saka. You can see today that Saka...
Exactly.
And you can see
these are the areas where I feel
his value.
We should begin to integrate...
integrate players.
Players, you understand, to make there be, will I say, a chain reaction, you understand, whereby players are coming in and they're being brought thrust into the national team and everything like that. Yeah. I mean national team, I mean from the cadre level down to the senior national
Exactly.
team. We can do it. If it's been done elsewhere, definitely we can do it in this part of the world.
All right, we have Kelvin Akpoguma, was solid for his club against Union Berlin, and now he's been recalled to Super Eagles. Yeah. Kevin Akpoguma, I remember those days he was there. And all of a sudden, we didn't see him anymore. It took a lot of time before he came. I remember when Siasia was there, Siasia was trying to bring him, but then he said he was not ready to play. And later it was Generoy, if I'm not mistaken, that brought him down to Super Eagles. And just 2 call-ups and that was it. We didn't see him again. But now, Pesiro watched him in the Bundesliga. He has been consistent since last season. And now he has received a call-up to be part of the Super Eagles that will be playing the 2 friendly matches. We know we have a friendly match against Algeria and Portugal. Yes. And I pray God will help us to, come out well.
And this time around is just...
And get our tactics fine-tuned, know the right players, know the right people to, to use.
This is a platform to build for the future, you understand? When I mean the future is to have that quality to represent Nigeria in a tournament, and then we are thinking that, okay, now it's time where we can win the next Nations Cup.
Exactly. So, Akpoguma, you're welcome to Super Eagles. Pray that you'll be part of the people that will play. Although everybody should be used because it's a two-way friendly match. Well, okay, Moses Simon powers his club to 3rd, and also he won the Player of the Month of August. Moses Simon. What do you have to say about this guy?
The young man, probably sometimes, club sides, you change club and then you blossom. While this young man was there in Watford some season ago, there was nothing much that was happening to him. All of a sudden, the guy changed club and then things are beginning to happen for him.
He's been in Nats and Nits and he's been doing
well, you understand? Making his presence felt. You understand?
And one thing I like about him again is that once he comes to Super Eagles, he gives his best.
He gives his best.
Yes. Yeah. Remember in the Nations Cup, he was a tormentor. Against
box tormentor. You understand? Box to box tormentor.
Yes. Then we have a Nigerian striker of Laurent FC, Terry Murphy. Murphy was on score sheet over the weekend, and this guy has been hot, red hot throughout the season. Remember this? He came from Sunderland. And there was nothing then, and he left. He's in the French league. This guy has been so hot. He is on 6 goals now in the League One.
Yeah,
and been doing well. And Ab Initio, his name was not on the list of people,
on the list for the
invitees.
Yeah,
but thank God we're saying that his name is there. I pray this guy, because you can't have somebody in the beginning of the season has 6 goals.
Yeah, consistent.
And you're gambling with him.
Yeah, like I said, this team, to me, like you were talking about Aribo not making the team.
Yes.
I'm telling you that probably Aribo is established. in the likes, there are people that are established that are not here. For instance, this Napoli young man is not there.
Osimhen has an injury.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So barring the injury is not here, but even if at that, this is the opportunity for you to fine tune. You understand? When you have your established team, you inject new players.
You know, one of the reasons why Aribo should have been part of this team is because when you're building, you need the best players to build with. You need to have them. They need to have this synergy. They need to understand each player.
Yeah.
You know, they need to form this synergy so that it helps the team. When you just wake up one and say, okay, there is a kind of a sudden match that is coming on board. You know the right people to,
understand.
And they know how to execute this. They understand
I agree with
the pattern you want to play.
Because,
it helps the team.
I agree with you because club side is not like national team side.
That's
where
it.
You get the opportunity week in, week out. But this is more like a season.
Yes.
So if you don't have an established bedrock, you understand? With one or two injections, then you definitely be having problems.
So dropping Aribo for Nyedika, don't really see.
Barring the man is not even having an injury.
And he also, not just that they dropped, we still have Hassan Yusuf, who plays for Antwerp. That is a new call-up. It's dropped. And this guy has been consistent in his team. So he needed, as far as I'm concerned, he needed all these guys to know the right people you will work with.
You will work with, as in have your steady bench strength,
your spine. This is my first 11. This is my team B.
Yeah.
Work with them and get the right, set of people. So that's it. All right. Because of time, we're going straight. Let's just show you the EPL table. The EPL table. In the weekend, Arsenal went back to the top. After Man City was just holding brief for them.
Momentarily.
Not momentarily. It was Man City. Man City was just holding a little brief for them. And Arsenal came back and took the... the beauty of the Arsenal team, why everybody appreciate what Arteta has done, is the integration. And this is the integration we're talking about.
Okay.
Integrating players together, no matter how it looks like. So even though you lose a game, you lose gallantly. You understand?
I think Arteta has, in my own opinion, I think Arteta is beginning to fashion out a winning mentality.
Good.
That is gelling this team together. You understand? That Man U game to me was just like a blip.
Yeah.
I think they were not physically or fine-tuned.
It was just a tactical
I think they were not physically fine-tuned for that game. So based on what I saw them play the other day against Brentford, I'm beginning to, say it might not be a stroll in the park.
Yes, definitely.
They will be difficult.
Whenever
there will be a difficult team for other people that are wanting to contest champions. I mean this top four with them. There will be a very. But then they've lost against Man U. Well, let's just call it a blip. But let's see how far they go. Because in October they have.
The first, after the international break, they are going to play
tough games.
Yeah, they're playing Tottenham, they're playing Man City, and
Chelsea. In October. So that October will determine the state of mind before they go for the World Cup.
Definitely.
You understand?
So Arsenal is back on top. For now, they are there, and Man City is the second, and Tottenham destroyed Leicester City
6-2. I think
that boy's son. He needs
17 minutes. 14 minutes hat trick.
That guy
coming from the bench.
That guy needs to be checked very well because that guy is something else.
The guy is something else. I like his go-to-match.
In fact, if son does not play in Tottenham, just leave that team. That team will have problem. That guy is too good. Then Brighton is still there, and they just signed a new coach of Zebedi from Italian league. The guy was the former coach of Shakhtar Donetsk, and that's the coach that is replacing Graham Potter, who Chelsea have signed.
Yeah.
Have you guys beginning to see some of his effects in Chelsea?
I think it's too early to say. Let's just give him some matches to say. Chelsea is more like a giant step You understand? Though in the right direction anyway, because for any team that wants to grow, any coach that wants to grow, you need to test the smaller teams before you go into the big league. So I believe with time, all I think, he has his tactics right for what he has been doing.
He has been consistent with Brighton, yes.
Yeah, he has his tactics right. But let's see if the players, he can carry the players along.
And the American owner of Chelsea says Chelsea name will be changed to London Cowboys.
No, that is just rumor. That's not possible. You understand?
It's Chelsea, not a rumor. It's everywhere.
No, that's a rumor. It's not possible. Chelsea
as 2003, 2004 season.
118-year history. Yes. He just come.
That is his property.
Who has bought a team in England or wherever and changed the name?
It is maybe he will be the first person to do it.
No, it doesn't work like that. He doesn't work like that. There's a whole lot
to the first person to do that.
That was just a rumor.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, let's hope it's a rumor, because I don't see why changing Chelsea's name to London Cowboy. I don't know. Is he from Texas? Because that's where we have all those cowboys
and everything.
So maybe that's why he wants to bring that name there. It doesn't make sense at all. Okay, we still have Man U 5th position for Fulham, Chelsea 7th position, Liverpool, Brentford is there, Newcastle is there. That's the league table there. Yet Liverpool has not been finding their rhythm right, and a lot of people are putting up because Mane left. Do you really buy to that idea?
I don't really buy to the fact that Mane left. I think that Gengen pressing, you understand, Gengen pressing of
everybody is beginning to understand.
You understand, and the Gengen pressing, these guys will tire. You understand, they will run out of steam over time, and it's gonna be, you understand, figured out in no time. And secondly, I think they've had one or two hitches when it has to do with their defense lineup. You understand, but I believe they have what it takes, because that young man, the addition, that Darwin Núñez, the guy is still prolific, even though he might not have the nimble touch of Mane. You understand, Mane has this way of niggling himself.
Diaz is there, is a very good player.
Very, very good player. Yes. So I don't think they have much to worry about. It's just one of those things that happen to big teams, you understand, at the beginning of season.
Like I told you about Man U, that Man U
will bounce back.
Because I've seen where they're going. I've seen the kind of players they have.
It's one of those things. I believe Liverpool has what it takes to. This league is already a regimented league of about 6-7 teams, you understand. Okay. So it's just all about who can get the act right. And then begin to bulldoze their way to the top of the league, you understand?
Okay. All right. I think this is where we'll be drawing the curtain close on ABS Sports today. Remember that every Tuesday I'll be here with my brother to analyze sports, and we want you to know that keep kicking, keep watching ABS Sports. Next week we'll be here, and we'll still be doing justice to
sports.
But sports still continues tomorrow. Don't go away. Keep watching ABS. Bye.
This is ABS, Heartbeat of the East.